Hey friends, we're in chapter 2. We're looking at operations with integers still, and we're in section 2.4, which is multiplying integers. All right, so let's take a look at just some straight up example problems. We're going to talk about the real easy I have something here that I probably shouldn't have. We're going to talk about the real easy way to know what the answer is going to be when you multiply. I know all of you know how to multiply. We've been doing skill builder practice. You guys, multiplication muscles are big. So let's go ahead and just deal with the rule. The rule here, when you're multiplying integers with the same sign or with, I'm not going to put same sign anywhere, with any sign. Here's a situation. If the signs are the same signs, your answer is positive. If your signs are different, your answer, different signs, only for 2. And I'll explain that in a minute. Different signs, you're going to get a negative answer. So this is only when you're talking about multiplying two numbers together. So if both signs are the same, then you're going to get a positive answer. If the two signs are different or opposite from each other, you're going to get a negative answer. So, and the reason why I felt like this was necessary, I didn't want you to think -3 times +2 times -4 would be negative. In fact, this would be positive because these two guys are going to come together and give me a positive answer. This is already positive, so positive times positive, or same sign, is going to give me a positive. All right, now that I've totally confused you, not really. Now that we've talked about that, let me make this disappear and get started with the problems that we have. So we've got -3 times 12. The signs are different, so two numbers being multiplied together, the signs being different, I'm going to get a negative answer. 3 times 12 is 36, and I'm done. 4 times a -7, again, the signs are different, so I'm going to get a negative answer, and my answer is 28 because 4 times 7 is 28. 7 times 3, the signs are the same, therefore my answer is going to be positive, 21. I don't necessarily have to write the plus sign, but I did just for kicks and giggles. -6 times a -3, again, the signs are the same, your answer is going to be positive, and you're going to get a positive 18. -9 times a positive 8, different signs, negative answer, your answer is 72. And finally, negative times negative is going to be a positive because the signs are the same, and we're going to get a positive 12. That shouldn't be too bad. I hope that wasn't too bad. So I think I messed up my headings. So same is equal to positive is what I was saying, and then different is equal to negative. And we just got more examples, and I'm just going to truck through them. -3 times -4 gives me a positive 12. 6 times 3 gives me 18. -21 times a -4 gives me a negative 84. 7 times 12 also gives me 84, and it's both positive. I said negative 84, my bad. Negative times negative is a positive. So when the signs are the same, our answer is positive. Let's look at this next sheet of problems. -2 times 5 is going to be a -10 because the signs are different. 10 times a -7 gives me a -70. And finally, this last one's going to give me -44. Again, when the signs are different, your answer is negative. Here, we're going to multiply more than two integers, so here's where we need to make sure that we are only talking about multiplying two when we use our rules. So when I multiply this positive times this negative, I'm going to get a -48 for these guys. This one times this one, right? -4 times 12. And then when I multiply that by a -5, I'm going to get a positive 240. All right? Here I can also do the same thing. These guys multiplied together gives me a -63. Now I'm multiplying -63 times 6. My answer is going to be positive. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 down there, carry a 1. 6 times 6 is 36, 37. So it's going to be a positive 378. All right? I think that might be it for our examples. I'm going to check this next slide and see. Nope, we got one more. Dang nabbit. All right, that's cool. We can do it. We're going to simplify an expression and simplify and evaluate. This one we're going to simplify. We can't evaluate because we don't know what the value of A or B is, but we can make it simple. You guys remember when we were talking about our properties in chapter 1, we had a property over multiplication which was commutative. We could move things around once everything's being multiplied. And then associative, I can choose to do two things first or focus my attention on doing one operation with a set of numbers. So here I recognize that this is negative 7 times A times 4 times B. I can rewrite this as negative 7 times 4 times A times B. Associative property tells me I can take those two and multiply them together. I get a negative 28. Can't deal with A and B because I don't know what they are, so I'm going to leave them down as AB. So the answer is negative 28AB. I would probably not do all of this to do this problem. I don't expect you guys to do all this. If you looked at the negative 7 and the 4 and said, hey, normal numbers, I can multiply them, and got a negative 28AB automatically, that would be totally cool. But I just wanted to show you the process. All right, so here we can evaluate because we are given values for those variables. Let's take a look. So I've got 3xy, and I know that this means that I'm multiplying them all together. So I'm going to take 3, replace the x with the 2, and write 3 times 2, and then replace the y with the negative 6, and write times negative 6. And I'm going to do exactly what I've been doing before. 3 times 2 is a positive 6, so I get 6 times negative 6, which is going to give me a negative 36. And that's it. I hope that made sense. I'm going to peek one more time. Yes, no more problems to do. All right, I hope that made sense. I know it was a bit redundant, but I hope that the redundancy, the repetition, will help you memorize the rules. When I'm multiplying two numbers with the same sign, the answer is positive. When I'm multiplying two numbers with different signs or opposite signs, the answer is negative. I can only use that rule for two numbers at a time. And honestly, when we do division, it's exactly the same thing. All right, so I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Let me know if there's any questions I can answer. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.